Okay, we're back to do some thinking. Let's see what's in the book today. Don't put gravel in your own shoe before going for a walk. Why would I do that? That's a really stupid thing to do. I'm sure there's more behind that. Let's think about it. Don't put gravel in your own shoe before going for a walk. It sounds like a silly thing to do, but we do it every single day. We put things in our own way. We create problems where there are none. We literally come up with problems out of nothing. I first heard that quote from Ali Abdaal, favorite YouTuber of mine. I don't know if he came up with it or if he found it somewhere else, but that's where I first heard it. It was in a slightly different context, I believe, that he used it. However, I think it lends itself to a lot of different situations, and it's something that I'm very passionate about, so I will borrow the metaphor and use it for my own purposes today. All the time, people find reasons why not to do things. Constantly. People are constantly coming up with reasons why they shouldn't do this or shouldn't do that or couldn't do this or wouldn't do that, and everybody does it, myself included. I think it's probably even a bit of a protection mechanism. In fact, that's most likely what it is. But to a big extent, I have, for want of a better word, had that mindset beaten out of me or told out of me. So, story time. Once upon a time, there was a little kid called Jessica who showed interest in lots of things, not much of which has changed, as you might know. She would give anything a go, and her parents were happy to let her experiment, which is really important. Usually, she became reasonably good at the things she was interested in, or displayed some sort of talent, probably just because she was allowed to experiment. Her dad, being the self-employed son of a self-employed mum, never failed to come up with ways that Jess could turn her new hobby into a business. Now, I don't think everything should be turned into a business, and we could talk about that another day. Back to the story. Jessica's dad would always find ways in which to make her new hobby a business. Jess, on the other hand, always found ways to come up with potential roadblocks. Nowadays, we might call it troubleshooting, but she was finding reasons to not start before even starting. She was coming up with problems as excuses because she was worried that whatever the idea was wouldn't work. So to protect herself from possible failure, she decided to find reasons not to try. She was putting gravel in her own shoe before even going out for that walk. My dad is just as allergic to this problem fear-mongering as I am nowadays. And he would say, don't create or come up with problems before even getting started. Don't make life hard for yourself. Life's hard enough anyway. And besides, some of those problems might not even happen. Other problems might happen. And if any problems happen, you can deal with them when you come to them. But don't make your life harder by creating problems when there are none. Don't create problems before even getting started. So over the years, I slowly but surely started digesting that information and taking that advice on board. And he is an excellent example. In fact, both of my parents are excellent examples of how just doing it, I'm not saying they never made any plans, but definitely going for the thing can turn out incredibly well and take you amazing places. I certainly wouldn't be here otherwise. And I do like to think that a lot of the great things that have happened in my life have been directly downstream of just getting started and not creating problems, and sort of a, what if it goes wrong, but what if it goes right mentality, if you know what I mean. In fact, all of the jobs I currently have, like proper jobs, with bosses and everything, because I've got a few, all of those jobs came out of me just saying, you know what, I'm going to do this thing. And it turned out really well. And I wasn't actually even going for a job at the time. I was just doing a thing. And then it turned into a job on a few occasions. Now, on the other hand, some might say that it's even potentially responsible to fall into that premature damage control trap, where you're basically troubleshooting before a situation happens to be able to plan for the future and, sort of make contingency plans, plan A, plan B, plan C, in case something goes wrong. And I'm not saying that that's bad, because there's also the saying, failing to plan is planning to fail, which I think is completely true as well. Maybe we could do an episode on that. But I think that without having any realistic problem on the horizon, literally just coming up poof, poof, poof with issues without there being any sign of it, that I feel is probably going to stand in the way of a lot of great things happening. Also, when did any great story begin with someone playing it safe? Maybe it's happened a few times, but like, you don't go to the cinema to watch a film about someone playing it safe. You go to the cinema to watch a film about someone who risks everything, and they go out and they do the incredible thing, and they face the problems that they didn't think that they would have, and then they come out the other side, you know, all the happier. You might even say that playing it safe creates more problems down the line, because you're being so conservative and you're so much not going after what it is that inspires you or that could be exciting, that you just end up sort of never experiencing anything. Because maybe playing it safe will put you off from, you know, meeting somebody who would have a huge impact on your life, a positive impact, or, you know, getting a new job or learning a new skill. How rude. And I guess the key word here is new, because we're obviously scared of the new thing on account of it being new, and the things that are known by default are no longer a mystery to us, so we're much less likely to try and find problems with situations that we're well accustomed to, because the problems have never happened. So you're much more likely to be worried about problems coming up in a new situation that you don't know anything about than in your situation. But here's the thing, there's never a guarantee that problems or roadblocks won't suddenly appear. There's no guarantee, it's just, you know, personal experience. And then that itself could actually become a problem, because you're so used to the situation, you don't actually even see all of the problems around you. You don't even perceive them as problems, because you've grown so used to it. So yeah, I guess the truth is that problems can always happen. You're just less freaked out about them when they're in a situation that you know, or when you know the turf, so to speak. Just because you're walking a path that you've walked 100 times doesn't mean you're not going to suddenly end up with gravel in your shoe. And just because you're walking a path that you've never walked before doesn't mean you will end up with gravel in your shoe. So essentially, what I'm saying is, that thing that you're currently thinking about, and now you're thinking about it because I said that, do the thing. Try the thing. And if you're too scared to do the big thing, then reduce it to a smaller version of itself and do that thing to sort of get you started. Just go and do the thing. I support you. I think you got it, and I think you should do it. And when you do it, don't spend your time trying to find bits of gravel that may not, could possibly land in your shoe. Look up and enjoy the view. Maybe I should end all of these on rhymes. I'm a fan of that.